Good afternoon everyone, and we're live at our new Woodee cookout from Telgarth Mill in Telgarth and the Baker's Table. And today I'm with our wonderful chef Sue, and we're going to be making some soda bread in a Dutch oven. And so Sue, let's see what we're going to make. So today we're going to be making an amazing loaf soda bread using some of the Telgarth Mill's flour, local flour, which actually uses some of your wheat, doesn't it, Sue?
It does, yes.
Some of our local wheat in here. So we're going to be making a loaf, and then what else are we going to be making, Sue?
We're also going to be making some Welsh cakes using a recipe from Telgarth Mill's own recipe card, and again using their flour.
These are beautiful. So we're going to be cooking these on top of our stainless steel fire pit on the paella tray. So we're going to show you those. So what are we going to do first, Sue?
So the first thing we're going to do is actually I'm going to just show you how to, well, I think probably put the lid on the fire pit, because otherwise I will get smoked out here.
Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got two big handles. So this is our stainless steel tray. It doubles up as a lid. We're going to put that directly on the top.
And we're just going to let that heat up now so that we will be able to cook our Welsh cakes on that in just a moment. But the first thing we are going to do is make up the soda bread, and how I'm going to do that is in my bowl here I've got some ordinary plain flour, and I'm just going to add some of the Telgarth Mill flour. Whenever you do make soda bread, or any bread actually, I always like to use a mixture of plain flour and the wholemeal flour, because it just actually gives it a slightly lighter texture. Then we're going to just add some bicarbonate soda just to help with the reaction, because there's no yeast in this bread. So the bicarbonate soda reacts with the liquid to help it rise. So it is a much denser loaf, but it's a very quick loaf of bread.
Okay, that sounds great.
So then we've got some buttermilk. And this is buttermilk from the supermarket. You can make your own buttermilk by using milk with a little squeeze of lemon juice in there, so it just starts to sort of get a slightly acidic texture to it.
Okay, but you told me you can use other things, Sue.
You
so
can,
what
yes.
else can we use instead of buttermilk?
You can use beer or cider, which the loaf that I have already made has been made with cider.
So I suppose that just gives it a different taste, does it?
It does, yes, yeah.
Okay.
And then you could also add other ingredients actually into your bread. So you could put little chunks of cheese, or some little chunks of Bramley cookery apples.
Oh, that would give it a different
just
taste.
give it a slightly, just a different flavour. And of course, you could also add herbs as well, fresh from the garden.
Okay, so depending on if you wanted a sweeter loaf,
Yeah.
or if you wanted something a bit more savoury, you can add different things to it. And that's really great, because as we're learning to cook, bread in the fire pit, you might want to try different things. So every time you could have something different in it.
Something different.
Okay.
So I'm just using a knife to bring this together.
Okay.
It's quite sort of wet, which is what you want. You don't necessarily need to have it nice and smooth. It's a rustic loaf we're making.
Okay.
So I'm bringing this all together here. Oops.
Don't worry about that. That's an extra bit. So that's a bit of outdoor cooking for you. Bit of Blue Peter Live
So
here.
it's almost formed into a ball there. I'm just going to go into my hand, just to pick up all those little dry bits of flour.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it like that.
Okay.
And then I'm popping it into our Dutch oven.
Okay, so let's have a look. So that's a great Dutch oven there. So we've got different sizes here today. So the idea of a Dutch oven is that this is cast iron, and it can sit within a fire. And if you just lift it up slightly, Sue, and tilt it the other way, it's got little legs. So depending on the type of fire pit that you're using, or fire, it can stand directly on top of the fire pit itself, or onto the charcoal. So that's just one, and they come lidded.
And you can also hang them up as well.
Okay.
So I pop the soda bread into the Dutch oven. I've actually popped it on a piece of foil, which has got some baking paper on it.
Okay.
It just helps to protect it, and just something so you can lift it out as well.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then I've just got either a big sharp knife, or I've got a dough slice here, and I'm just going to put a big cross
Okay.
directly down.
Can you tip it forward so we can see? Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
There we go.
So what's the point of that, Sue? Why do you need to do that? I mean, you see that in a lot of loaves, don't you,
do.
that are open?
It just enables the heat to get down into the bread because there's no yeast, there's nothing in there to actually help the rising process. It just allows the heat to get in there,
okay.
so it will react with the bicarbonated soda to help it rise.
Wonderful.
And then the lid goes on, and then that would then be put.
So let's have a look. So this is our lid. So we're going to put that directly on.
And then we would pop.
Oops, sorry. There we go.
The lid's on, and then you'd pop that directly into your fire pit, which we've actually already got one
Oh, very Blue Peter style over here.
cooking already.
Okay. So we're just saying hello to Rachel. Can't see Sue's head. Okay.
Sorry.
There's a nice. Give us a wave, Sue. So what we're trying to do is to show you exactly what's going on. So down here, so into a fire pit. So this fire pit, which is our mild steel fire pit, it's a 600 mil. You can see beautifully all the oak leaves cut out around there, which gives a great draw. So this one, we've got some charcoal in it, and we met earlier with John from Birchwood, who showed us the best way to light a charcoal fire pit. So we've been sitting our Dutch oven in here because of course it takes slightly longer than our cookout allows. So it's been sat in there about 10 minutes, is it, Sue?
Yep.
So it's been sat in there for about 10 minutes now. The ideal temperature for this would be about 200 degrees. We've set the charcoal in the bottom, and so it heated up the steel. And of course we've got a really thick 5mm base in the bottom of our fire pit, and what that's doing is it's conducting the heat all around and it's coming up through the fire pit. So while that is cooking, we are going to show you the next thing that we're going to make. So Sue, what are we up to now?
Right, so the next thing we're going to make some Welsh cakes, and we're using
Oh, lovely.
Tolgarth's Mills recipe cards.
Okay.
And again, I've got plain flour and some of their wholemeal flour in here.
Okay.
And I'm just rubbing in some butter. Sugar has already gone in. So I'm just rubbing it in.
Okay.
So it's a little bit like a scone mixture.
Okay. And so the
it's a little
recipe for, let's have a look. So
All sorts of
we've got all sorts of recipes down in here that Telgarth Mill do, and there's some of their flour. So we're going to make some Welsh cakes. And so the Welsh cakes we're going to make are going to be on our stainless steel fire pit. So if I just go back here, so our stainless steel fire pit is this one, and we've got our big stainless steel cooking tray on here, our paella pan, and we're going to cook directly on that. So a little while ago we lit some kiln dried wood on here from Certainly Wood, our local partners, and so that's come to a lovely temperature now, and so we're going to put the Welsh cakes directly onto that. So if you've got a grill, you can put that onto there too. So what are we doing now?
So what I've done into our Welsh cake mixture is I've added some currants. You could use sultanas or raisins or a mixture of all three if you wanted, but I've just got currants here. I've added an egg, and now I'm just going to bind it all with a little bit of milk to bring it all together
Okay.
to a nice dough so I can work with.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Looking lovely. Love the.
I've also put some mixed spice into here, so you just get that lovely sort of spicy flavour to the Welsh cakes.
Okay.
There we go, it's coming together. I don't want to get it too wet, so I'm going to go in now with my hand just to feel what it's like.
Okay. And how should it feel?
It should come together to a nice dough, but not too sticky. Ideally you would roll them out, but because we are cooking outdoors today, I'm going to show you a quick way of doing the Welsh cakes.
Okay.
Alright, so here we go. So as you can see, it's come together in a nice ball.
dough. And it's great. We're outside. You know, you're sat on a bench. Just have a few ingredients to hand.
Yep.
And it's quite easy cooking. Something in the Easter holidays that you can get the children involved with. We're going to show you a really nice, simple thing to do over a campfire with children in a little while. This is, you know, easy to do.
Right, I'm just going to wipe my hands a moment. So.
Okay. All nicely ready.
Yes.
So still we've got our bread cooking. The soda bread is cooking there. So can you see we've got some of the charcoal on the top? So that's just so that the heat at the top of the loaf goes down as well. So it's all around the sides and on the top.
So just getting a few things ready to do the Welsh cakes.
Okay.
I know this was a little bit of an experiment when we were working these out, but it worked really well. So you make your Welsh cake into a ball.
Okay.
Now, this should be quite hot, so I'm just going to pop it on there.
Okay. So we've put no oil or anything
No
on
oil,
here.
no, because there's
just
quite a lot of
cleaned
butter into the
Okay, that's good to know.
in the mixture.
Okay, pressing it
Pressing
down.
it down. I'm using a little bit of flour on the back of a spoon,
Okay.
like that.
So we're there. So just a little ball to go on there.
Yep.
So
and
really,
you can just decide whatever size Welsh cake you want. Really.
yeah.
So
And if you know, on our big tray here, you can cook loads of Welsh cakes. So if you're having a party, having friends round, this is a really nice thing to do of an afternoon, just to put some Welsh cakes on there. We've put lots of different things on the paella tray. Of course, savoury things are the first thing that come to mind. So we really wanted to do something sweet to show you all the different things you can do.
It's really, really good. It works really well.
So while we're doing that, if you'd like to order a fire pit, check out our website, which is thewoodee.com, so www.thewoodee.com, and have a look on our shop. So this is a stainless steel fire pit that Sue is cooking on here with a stainless steel tray, and the other fire pit that we're cooking our loaf in is the mild steel fire pit. So various choices depending on your space and your budget. We do a smaller fire pit if you've got a small outdoor space or a courtyard, or if you've got a really big space, then we do a 900, which is amazing for a big family and a party. So so how long do you think these are going to take to cook?
They'll take about 4 to 5 minutes. Obviously,
Okay.
it's a little bit of a trial and error to find what the temperature is on here, because we don't have a thermometer at all.
Okay.
So you don't want it really hot, because obviously they're going to burn.
Okay.
So I'd rather have it slightly cooler,
Okay.
so that we can move the Welsh cakes around here to find the hottest part, and then
Okay.
once we've got a little bit of a rhythm going, then I can start to. So those are cooking nicely now.
Oh, that looks good. So if I just
Ooh, that one's not quite there yet.
go in on there, can
Yeah.
you see? Just
So
turning them over.
Over here is the hottest part.
Yeah, you can
of
see, because
the,
that's where our wood was, just over this
it
side.
Is, that's right, and I don't want to get it too hot.
Okay.
So we'll leave those from here. I can make a few more.
Okay, because we'll have a few tasters in a minute. So we are at Talgarth Mill today, which is a beautiful old mill which has been restored with lottery funding in the middle of Talgarth, and there's a wonderful cafe next door called the Baker's Table, and we spoke to Nicola earlier on from the Baker's Table, who told us a little bit about how she got involved and how the mill went on. Please check out their website, which you can find at Talgarth Mill or the Baker's Table, and have a look what they do. They do some wonderful courses where you can come and learn how to make bread, as well as come and buy your local flour. But one of the reasons that we wanted to come here today is that Sue on her farm grows wheat, and we're really pleased that we're able to show some of the things that you can do with it. So
Yeah.
the wheat here is milled, actually on a beautiful old mill that we'll do some filming at later, and it's turned into flour. Which flour do they use? Which is your?
It's the strong wholemeal flour.
The strong
Yes,
wholemeal
So
flour.
I've used that in the soda bread.
In the soda
Yeah.
bread. Okay.
But you could use just ordinary wholemeal flour in soda bread as well. But
Okay,
we
but
have
it's
used
really
it.
nice. So, but we like to partner local businesses. So one of the things that we do is that we like to promote other businesses alongside ours who have the same ethos that we have, and like to share what local business is all about, and that's what the Woodee is all about. So how are we doing with
Yeah,
that?
they're doing quite
Oh, look
nicely.
at that,
Yeah.
getting nice and golden brown on there now. Yes, thank you for tuning in, Bridie and Lizzie. They are amazing, and hopefully they do smell good.
They do
There's a
smell
little-
very good, yes.
There's not much smoke, but it's coming your
It's
way
just
too.
coming my
Yeah.
way.
Right, so we're going to do, so we'll leave these.
Just leave these to cook a little bit more.
Okay, so we put a little bit of flour. Can you see the little bit of flour on there?
Just on there.
So that's to stop them sticking, and it gives it a lovely,
Yeah, I sort of probably could
Yeah.
just do with a little bit of heat, more heat underneath. That's good.
okay. So shall we put, I think is that all right? We're going to leave that for a minute actually.
It's okay because they're not spoiling, you know,
Okay.
they're cooking quite nicely,
Okay.
rather than burning, and what we don't want them is to cook too quickly.
Okay, that's the idea. So we've got our fire pits here side by side today at Telgarth Mill, so you can probably just see the here I am, my face keeps popping in. So on your screen, the one that Sue is working on now is a stainless steel fire pit, and the one next to it is the mild steel. I don't know if you can see, but on the mild steel we've got this lovely autumn patina on there, where of course mild steel will rust. It looks really beautiful, whereas on the stainless steel that starts to go lots of different colours as it heats up, so like petrol in water, and then over time that will darken up like it would if you put a stainless steel pan over a flame. So we've got them both there for you to have a look at today, both 600ml. So how long has that been in now, Sue, the bread?
The bread has been in about half an hour. So
right, shall we try and have a look to see what it's like? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so let's so we're going to go into that now.
So what I'm going to do is just take off the coals from
the top. Okay. So this has been in the Dutch oven now for about half an hour. So we're going to just lift the lid so you can see all the oak leaves there.
Oh, lovely.
Look at that, wow. Can you see in there? Just see the top of it?
Yep. So it's not quite ready yet, so I'm going to give it a little bit longer.
Okay, so a little bit longer.
Fab.
Right.
And we're maintaining temperature of around about 200 degrees.
Right, perfect.
I have got a oven thermometer in there,
Okay.
and it just gives you an idea of actually how hot it does get in there.
Okay. So that's quite a handy idea. So if you're cooking something like bread, which to be fair, you know, that it's quite a bit of alchemy with,
It is.
with baking bread, isn't it?
It is, and as I say, you get to know how your fire pit works. It's a bit like when you're using your oven. You do get to know and understand how it works.
And I just let you into a little secret. The first time that we did this, we had a black loaf, didn't we, Sue?
We did.
It was hilarious. We tried to get as much heat in it as we could, and so for us, like everybody, it's a bit of trial and error. So. You know, we've been doing it a little while now, and next time perhaps we might put some, some different
flavours.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yep.
So our Welsh cakes
are cooking really nicely. They're not quite there. They're still a little bit soft in the middle, but they're doing really well without burning. And that's what we don't want them to do, is get that really burnt feel on them.
So the last thing that we're going to do is, are you happy to do this, Sue?
Yes, we
sort
can
of
do.
Yeah. Yep. So for the children, so over the Easter holidays, children love fire, and we are a real advocate of letting children learn how to make fires and how to use fire. And a fire pit is a wonderful way to do that because it's really safe. Our Woodee Fire Pits have 3 legs. They're welded on, so there's no frames. We're a fan of something really stable. They're nice and low to the ground. So this will take a good knock from a child or a dog and it's going nowhere. So this is a really great way. So you can see Sue there. Sue has now got a hazel stick, isn't it?
Yep.
So we're going to show you how to get children doing some baking bread themselves really easily. So the best thing to cook some bread twirls on is a hazel stick, and the way to tell if you've got a good stick really, or another type of wood even, is to give it a lick, isn't it, Sue?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you lick it and it's sweet, it's great to use. If it's sour, it's the wrong type of wood, so discard that.
And I know this is hazel because I harvested it this morning from my
from the garden.
From my garden.
So you can see that that's a really thick stick. So you might get tempted just to use a thin whippy stick, but actually for bread, something that's about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch of diameter is best to use.
And I'm just taking the outside bark off just with a sharp knife. And again, children will just love doing this. Yeah,
get pen knives out. You know, our 3 boys absolutely love doing this. It's a really great way for either oven, if you've got an open fire or a fire pit like this. So
I'm just going to have a quick turn of my Welsh cakes as we really don't want them to burn, as I've been going on about.
Very carefully looking after those. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing really nicely actually.
They are, aren't they? That's wonderful. Right. So the dough that we've got there, so this is just really simple, and it's so simple that I made it. And so what you're going to do, just for bread twists, it's some self-raising flour, a bit of sugar, and it's really just throw it in, and a little bit of water until it gets to be a pliable dough shape. So really, really thin is the best thing. Children will get really tempted to do really fat things of dough, but really thin as you can. And we're going to twist it around the stick. And the idea of this is that we're going to put it over the embers, and we're going to just hold it, and children love that. So when you're sat round telling stories, talking to each other, the children can put it over. Let's have a look.
Can you see that?
Yeah, just over there. So we've just put, if you can see, we've just twisted it round, and then we're going to put it just over the embers. That's it. So I'm nice and over. I suppose it takes a little while, 10 or 15 minutes, and that will be a beautiful breadstick, which for children, they can then, it depends what you like, if you put a bit of jam on it, or a little bit of Marmite, or
peanut butter.
Peanut butter is good. And actually, the boys last night were melting chocolate and dipping it in that. So
were they?
Yeah. So for a really naughty treat, that's a really good one as well. Right, so we'll do that for a while. So what are we going to take off first? What do you think is ready, Sue?
So I think.
Do you think the bread is ready now?
It could well be, yes.
Okay. So why don't I hold that?
You hold that, and you work on that one.
Yeah. So if I hold this over just for a minute.
Just check the Welsh cakes.
Okay.
Just before we go on to the Welsh cakes.
Okay.
I'll just do the Welsh cakes and take them off.
Okay.
Because I've just got some sugar here, because I do like a little bit of sugar on my Welsh cakes.
And me.
And I'm just going to put them in there.
Okay. That's not burning. Yes, that's it.
I think, yeah.
Our bread, I think, is ready.
I think so.
Yeah. So those are our lovely Welsh cakes, straight off the fire pit.
Into some sugar.
Okay.
And I'm just going to pop them over so that, ooh, lovely.
Lovely. And I think it's probably time to take our bread out. So can you see that? So we're not putting the bread over flames. So we're just putting it over the embers, and it's the heat that will cook these bread twirls. So just turn the stick every now and again, and let's see how our bread is doing.
Yeah, I'll take the lid off so we can see. Oh yes.
Oh, let's have a look. I'm going to move this for a second because I want you to see. If I just pop that on there, I want you to see that loaf of bread. Let's have a look. Where are we? On there. Look at that. Can you see that?
So it is just slightly, it's getting a little bit warm underneath, but it is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that is amazing. Look at that. So we're going to be tasting some of that in a minute. So that's soda bread. So quickly remind us, Sue. So what went in to make that?
So we put. I might pop it back in there a minute.
Okay.
It's going to get a bit hot.
Okay.
We had plain flour and some strong wholemeal flour
From Telgarth Mill.
Mill.
So which we've used today.
Bicarb of soda, and then I use buttermilk in this one.
Buttermilk, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And
But
some
again,
salt, and
we
just bound it all together so that you've got a nice dough consistency, not too sticky but not too dry. That's always quite important to have enough moisture in there to actually help it cook and rise. It's the moisture that really helps the rising process with the reaction with the bicarb of soda.
Right. So while we're waiting for that, so shall we try?
Oh gosh, yes. Do you want to?
Let's try a Welsh cake. Let me
Okay,
hold that and
hold
you
that
try
one.
one.
Okay, I'll have the Welsh cake.
Let's see
Right
if
around
that's...
that. And they've just cooked through nicely, not overcooked.
Okay, what's it like?
Oh, yeah.
Let's have one of those.
It's delicious, yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
I don't know. It's got a little bit of a crunch to it on the outside.
And that's from just cooking over the fire.
Just over there, yeah.
Soft in the middle and a little bit sugary.
They are delicious.
They are wonderful. Try these. They are wonderful. I put some on there.
On a tray. Always never enough room when I'm cooking.
No. Well, so.
And then we'll put the bread, and we'll just open the bread up as well in a minute.
Okay. Right, we're coming to the end of our cookout now because we've been with you 25 minutes. So there's our loaf, which looks beautiful.
There we go. So a little bit charred on the bottom, but I think that adds to the whole deliciousness of it. And there we go. I'm going to break it down.
Oh, look at that. Can you see that?
It's just beautiful. There we are.
Let me just have a close-up of that, Sue. Let's
Yep.
see.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
So, Welsh cakes and soda bread live from Telgarth Mill. Come and at Easter time
Yeah.
and enjoy.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you ever so much for watching. We'll be putting recipes up and we are going to be sat here now finishing up with our bread twirls, and we should be enjoying those with chocolate spread. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.